Halo DCFX Trader, bagaimana kabar kalian hari ini? Tentunya kembali lagi bersama saya Anamil Akbar, host DCFX Indonesia. Selamat menyaksikan program unggulan DCFX US Stocks. Dan program ini didampingi oleh wakil pialang berjangka. Dan di episode terbaru kita membahas mengenai Exxon Mobil bersama Mr. Sebastian, founder Share Focus. Hello Mr. Sebastian.
Hello.
So, what is the topic for this week?
We're going to talk about something a little bit different. So the last many times we already talk about Apple and technology stock and inflation and the stock market, interest rate. So this time, let's talk about another stock. Exxon Mobil.
Exxon Mobil. Okay, yes, that's an unusual name. What do you like Exxon Mobil so much right now?
Yeah, because it's unusual. I think that's the first thing I like about Exxon Mobil, because most investors in the last 10 years maybe, the focus is on the technology, like Apple, Nvidia recently, Microsoft, Google, and then Tesla, Amazon. So everybody's focusing on those stock. That's the famous name, and it's true, it's the best performing. But sometimes when you're investing, the opportunity is where people are not focusing so much attention. So right now, I think still not much focus on commodity and Exxon and oil. So that's one reason I like it, because there is not much attention yet. So means probably it could be quite cheap.
Quite cheap. Okay, that's interesting. But XOM or Exxon Mobil is an oil company, and hasn't the oil price been very weak for the last 1 year and still right now?
Yes, that is true. The oil price has come down by about 50%. So it went up to about $120, and then it fell down to about $60. So it fell down in half, which is not good. But recently the price is starting to go back up again. So it's now $70, $74. So the price looked to me like it's starting to rising again. And we can see from Exxon, maybe the price will be rising more in the future. And the reason we know that is because the investment spending of Exxon Mobil is not high. So Exxon is a big oil company, and they will produce the oil in the future. So if the investment spending is low, there will not be so much oil in the future. So the supply will be tight, maybe the price will go up. So if we look at the investment spending of Exxon, it's about half now compared with what it was in 2018, 2019. So investment low, supply is not much, the price should be going up. So that's another reason I like Exxon, because I think the oil price will keep going up. Because a company like Exxon is not spending too much money.
Okay, that's good for oil the price then. But as I know, you focus your research mostly on company cash flow. So how is the cash flow of Exxon Mobil doing recently?
Yeah, that's true, because the two things we just talked about, like the attention, the oil price, that's like the macro, the big picture. But in the small picture, we want to look at the cash flow of the company. And the cash flow of Exxon is good. It is good. It's very good, in fact. So in the last 12 months, Exxon Mobil is making about more than $60 billion for 1 year. Now that compares with, say, Apple. Is not as big as Apple. Apple is like $120 billion. But it's quite good if you compare with Microsoft, for example. Microsoft is about 75 billion, and Exxon is 62 billion. So it's quite close to Microsoft. So the cash flow of Exxon is good. One of the reasons the cash flow is good is because they're not spending so much money, so they have better cash flow.
Yeah. Okay. The last question. $62 billion is big, and that makes the $400 billion market value of Exxon Mobil sound quite cheap, right? Only 6.5 times the cash flow.
Yes. Yeah.
Is it right?
It is cheap. That's correct.
Okay.
So the market value of Exxon shares is about $400 billion. The cash flow is 62. So yeah, it's about 6 times. So obviously the lower, below 10 times, that's definitely cheap. 6 times, that's very cheap.
Very.
If we look at like Apple is trading at maybe almost 30 times. So if you compare 30 times with 6 times, then Exxon looks very attractive. And if you, like we just mentioned, Exxon market cap is 400. The cash flow is about 60. Microsoft Microsoft cash flow is about 70, so it's quite close to Exxon.
Yeah.
But the market cap of Microsoft is $2.5 trillion.
Okay.
So Exxon 400, Microsoft 2.5 trillion. So Exxon looks very cheap. Yeah, it looks very cheap. If you compare with the other company, and if you look at the value of the cash flow compared with the market cap, only 6 times. Yeah, that's why I like Exxon. It's not popular. The oil price looks good to me. The cash flow is good.
Cash flow is
and it looks very cheap, the stock.
So you have 4 reasons why you love it. Exxon Mobil. Oke, menarik sekali. Kita baru saja membahas mengenai Exxon Mobil, saham ya. Ada 4 alasan menurut Mr. Sebastian kenapa sangat menyukai, ya karena satu, memang namanya tidak begitu terkenal, no famous, tetapi sahamnya masih sangat murah, oil juga, dan
cash flow bagus.
Cash flow juga bagus. Dan yang terakhir,
it's cheap.
Sangat-sangat murah.
Yeah. And it's cheap compared with the technology.
Nah, of course. Nah, jadi masih banyak opportunity kalau ingin trading atau investasi di saham Exxon Mobil untuk jangka panjang.
I think starting now maybe is a very good time to investing in Exxon Mobil.
Oke, so untuk traders DCFX yang ingin berinvestasi itu bisa saja buka account trading di DCFX. Kita minimum $200 deposit. Kita minimum deposit itu $200. Saya kebalik-balik jadinya. Dan juga jangan lupa terakhir untuk follow sosial media kita available ada di Telegram, Instagram, semuanya ada di LinkedIn, Facebook. Jangan lupa terakhir untuk subscribe YouTube DCFX Indonesia. Dan terakhir kata, jangan lupa bahwa trading derivatif ini mengandung resiko, jadi harap untuk memperhatikan resikonya. Dan jika ingin perlu atau membutuhkan informasi lebih lanjut mengenai saham US, kalian bisa menambahkan Telegram Mr. Sebastian di sini. Oke, ini adalah pertanyaan terakhir. Tadi sudah, kita akan berjumpa lagi, kita akan bahas diskusi di new episode tentunya minggu depan. Saya Anamil Akbar dan Mr. Sebastian. Kita pamit undur diri. See you and bye-bye.